Today's topic is the apology that never came.
Why do we expect people who hurt us to also be the ones who heal us?
I was waiting for somebody to apologize to me for 7 years. Seven years. So maybe they didn't apologize to me because they weren't sorry.
Did you get your answer?
I got my answer.
And
You see how? Thank you, Holy Spirit.
that was not my intentions to hurt your feelings. It really wasn't.
Hey, welcome to the Trigger Happy Hour where we take shots of the truth straight with no chase.
It's your host that do the most, Jaquana Darnesha, and get ready as we dive deep, laugh loud, and unpack triggers you've been dodging.
Buckle up, y'all, because healing ain't always pretty.
But it's always real.
Hey, it's your girl Darnesha, licensed mental health counselor, mommy of 2. I like to give it to you straight with no chase, but sometimes I got to put a little bit of sugar on the rim to sweeten it up. But either way it go, y'all already know. I'm going to give it to y'all 100 proof truth.
And you already know what time it is. It's your boy, Daquan, giving it to you straight with no chase. Let's flip that doubt into drive. No more negative thinking. Let's make today popping for you.
All right, y'all. So we going to get into it. Today's topic is the apology that never came. Because, some of y'all still waiting, and
Okay.
still waiting.
All right. Today we're going to play a little game of Would You Rather. All right. Would you rather take 1 week dream vacation with someone you rarely like, or only get to spend a night in a local hotel with the love of your life? Darnesha, would you rather what?
So when we talk about a dream vacation
Mm-hmm.
for a whole week with somebody that I rarely like, or one night at a local hotel with the love of my life, I'm going to choose the latter. I'd rather spend one night with somebody that I truly want to be with than to fake it for a whole week with somebody that give me the heebie-jeebies when they try to give me a hug.
It's the heebie-jeebies for me, girl.
It's the heebie-jeebies. You have somebody ever touched you and you was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I have. I was like, oh my God, why are you touching me?
What's your answer?
Baby, I'm all about love. So, because I can't fake it. I can't fake it till you make it, all right? Even though the dream vacation, it sounds good and tempting, but if it's somebody that I rarely like, that means me and them gonna clash. And that's just gonna mess up my whole thing.
All right, so I have one. Would you rather, and this goes into today's topic, would you rather never get an apology or get a half-hearted one?
I'd rather not. I don't want a half-hearted one at all. I'd rather just be okay without one. What about you?
Right. No, the same. Like, don't give me no half-ass apology. Either you're sorry or you ain't. Because
Okay.
if it's half-hearted, then they're going to continuously do the things that required them to apologize in the first place. They don't really want to apologize. So don't give me an apology that's not sincere or one that's not genuine. You can hold on to that.
Or you know what? You know what's
Go
another
ahead.
one?
What?
If they give you an apology, but there's always a but after it.
Ooh, right. I'm sorry, but if you had just
Mm-mm.
validate my feelings, boo.
Yeah. Because if it's gonna be a but, then it cancels out the apology. Do you
Mhm.
ever hear that? Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, but you made
Mhm.
me no. Don't even give me a sorry if you're gonna say but, because that cancels it out. Once you put that comma and but after it, it canceled out the first thing that you just said to me.
Facts. All right, y'all. So that was a little snippet. And before we get into it, we're going to give our disclaimer. This is not a substitution for therapy. We are just a sounding board. If you need professional help, please seek professional counseling. You can call 988. You can go to Psychology Today, or you can simply Google for a local therapist, counselor, substance abuse counselor, whatever, couples counseling, whatever you need. The resources are out there. So we are just here as a sounding board, and we just here to get it real, y'all.
Mm.
So,
If you guys have insurance and if it's through your employer, use your EAP. Because if you don't want to pay for it right off the bat, the EAP give you 5 free sessions before you even start paying for it. So test out the therapist. You know, if you go to one and you don't like it, it's okay. You can go ahead and move to another one. Find the ones that's going to fit you.
Yep. At a minimum, you get 5 sessions. So
Mhm,
take advantage of that. And like Daquan said, if you don't like the person, get somebody else. I promise you, therapists will not be offended because your well being is the priority of the therapist. So make sure
mhm,
y'all get that help. All right. So we're going to jump into it. Let's talk about it, y'all. That apology you deserved. Oh, that's a strong word. The apology you deserved, but you
mhm.
never got. And we talking about from a parent. You never got that apology from that parent that abandoned you. You never got that apology from that partner that left you, abandoned you, cheated on you. You never got that apology from a friend. You never got that apology from a job. And then it left you replaying the situation over and over and over like, dang, did I do something wrong? What
Mhm,
happened? Was it me?
mhm,
And the part that people don't talk about is how the lack of an apology can feel like your pain didn't matter enough to be acknowledged, y'all.
mhm.
That's real.
Sometimes the apology never comes because it requires accountability. Okay, let me go ahead and say it again. It requires accountability, and not
Mhm.
everyone is ready to face who they were in that moment, and then we're left trying to heal without closure.
Right, accountability. That's a strong word, and everybody don't know what it means, and everybody don't know how to accept it. Accepting accountability means I've done something wrong or I've done
Mhm,
something to hurt someone. I've
mhm,
acknowledged the fact that I wronged them. I acknowledge the fact that I hurt them. I acknowledge the fact that I was possibly in the wrong, but I still
mhm,
won't admit it. I still will not admit the fact that, yeah, that was my bad. No, that's not right to do that. And so let's explore that a little bit. Have you ever been waiting for closure from a situation that you never received? I like to call it forced closure, where you kind of forced to just be like, all right, it is what it is. But still, you be like, dang, what I do? Has that ever happened to you in a situation?
It actually has. It really has. But you know what? I would say in the end, I actually got one later on, years
Mm,
later. But like you said, it was a forced closure. I had to accept the fact that, well, me and that person would never talk again. And I was cool with that. And I had to understand I don't need their apology. It would be nice to have it, but do I really need that apology at that moment?
mm-hmm.
No, because I'm still moving. I'm still living. And sometimes we gotta be okay with we're not going to get that because again, what is it requires them to be accountable for their actions for who they were in the past if they have not changed.
Right. So when you finally ended up getting that apology later on down the line, did that change anything for you?
It did not change anything, but it did give me some closure.
All
Like,
right.
I would say it didn't change anything as far as I was still living. I was still doing the things that I need to do as an adult. Not having that apology did not stop me from living. It did not stop me from making friends, and it did not stop me from moving on. But it did give me the closure that I wanted, and it felt good. But even if I didn't get that closure, I was still good because I wasn't even thinking about that person anymore.
And I do wanna get into the denial aspect of it, right? So the first thing that come to my mind is when someone does something to you and then they never apologize and then y'all kind of sever ties. But you be in denial, like, dang, they really played me like that. Like, I can't believe that this person that I've known for this long or I've been friends with for this long or whatever the situation may be, like they really that's how they really cut. That's how it really is. So that denial kicks in because you like, dang, they really not sorry. Or
They
you
really
like,
hurt me.
and then even on the opposite end of the spectrum, do you think you've ever been in a situation where you were the one that probably owed someone an apology and you just had a difficult time accepting accountability for your actions?
No, because I can always be no, because I can always be accountable for my actions. If I wronged you, then I am man enough to say, "I wronged you and I was in the
Mhm.
wrong." Now, do I feel like it in that moment? No, because I'm probably heated, I'm probably in
Mhm.
the moment, but later on down the line, the person that I am, I beat myself up about it because I always go back and say, "Well, I coulda did this different. I coulda
Right.
said that, or did I really have to say that?" But, no, I'm always gonna be accountable for what I'm gonna have to say, or give that person an apology. Because
Right.
If I would want somebody to apologize to me for hurting my feelings, I'm not going to hold that from anybody else. If I hurt anybody, I'm going to say this now, if you never heard it. If I hurt you in the past, then I am sorry. And I
Mhm.
genuinely mean that. I am sorry because everybody deserves an apology.
So when you say if I hurt you, if I hurt anybody, is that actually apologizing? Cause it's like a if, like either you did or you didn't. Like I personally feel like I would know if my actions cause somebody to feel some type of way. So it's a I'm sorry for hurting you, but if I hurt you, you know you hurt them, right? Or
Well,
nah?
well, sometimes people will mask it and not say, that it hurt them because some people will not say, "Oh, you hurt my feelings." But if I really did and you didn't verbalize that to me to say that, "Hey, you hurt my feelings," then I wouldn't know
I get
because
that.
I joke a lot, right? And sometimes when I feel like I'm joking, I'm just joking, right? But
Mhm.
what I may say may have hurt somebody, and I did not know that, and they just kept that in. So that's why I don't want to withhold an apology because if that person never told me that I hurt them, then how would I know if I hurt, especially if it was a joke? You know, a lot of people can be prideful and not say, "Well, you hurt my feelings. You know, when you did this, you hurt my feelings."
Right. So I got to come at this from two different versions of myself. Like the younger version, I can look back and be like, it was some things that I didn't take accountability for that I should have or I could have at the time. And then, but this version of myself, I would say at least 30 and up, 30, 35 and up. If I come to you, if I say something to you, I'm standing 10 toes down on what I'm saying because I have learned to be more assertive in my approach. And well, back in the day, I was very aggressive with the way that I communicated. So it
I
probably
can see
did
that.
it
I can
probably
see
did
that.
hurt some feelings, right? However, now I remember having a conversation with one of my girls, and we were in conversation about me and one of the other girls being into it. And she said something along the lines of, well, how do you feel about being the one to apologize? And I said, I'm not sorry. So why am I going to apologize for something that I'm not apologetic for? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I really struggle with that because I'm the type of person, if I say something, there's a reason behind me saying it. And if I'm expressing how I feel, I can't change that. I feel how I feel, but I'm not going to apologize for feeling the way that I feel. So I think it's very important to accept accountability. Is it difficult for some people? Yeah. Especially when you grew up in a household and you always got blamed for everything and you felt the need to always have to defend yourself all the time. So the minute somebody points a finger at you, you automatically defensive because here it is, another situation where you got to defend yourself. And then another thing we want you guys to understand is like the hard truth of it all, that closure doesn't always come from the person. Sometimes it comes from like we said, that forced closure, but sometimes it comes from us deciding that we just done waiting. We just done like I could say I was waiting for somebody to apologize to me for 7 years. 7 years. And it just never came. And so I had to accept it is what it is. Maybe that person don't even see what they did impacted me in a way I don't see how because I'm very vocal, but all right, I'll give you that. You don't want to apologize. Same reason why I didn't want to apologize. I wasn't sorry. Oh, dang. So maybe they didn't apologize to me because they weren't sorry.
Did you get your answer?
I got my answer.
And I
You see how thank you. Thank you, Holy Spirit. But that's how it works.
huh?
So, all right. So we're gonna dive into why the apology never came. Sometimes the apology doesn't come because acknowledging harm would disrupt how someone sees themselves.
Ooh. And then there's other times people confuse intent with impact. I didn't mean to becomes a shield instead of accountability.
Ooh, I ain't mean to do that.
I did not.
That was not my intention.
It was not. And
Mm.
it really has happened because, for instance, I have a friend that I work with. She had pulled me to the side one time and said, "You know, Daquan, at one point, the way that you joke, I took it some type of way because." it seemed like I was always you was always picking at. Then I had
Mhm.
to learn that that's just you. You're picking at me. If you didn't really mess with me, you wouldn't just be picking at me. And it's
Mhm.
not that you mean any harm behind it, but I had to change how I was taking it.
Mhm.
And I told her and I'm going to tell her tomorrow too when I see her that I do apologize for when you was taking it like that because that was not my intentions to hurt your feelings. It
Mhm.
really wasn't. I just wanted to if I didn't rock with you, I wouldn't be sitting here joking with you. But again, I have to realize that sometimes my playfulness can hurt others, and that is not my intention. So
Dang, that resonated with me so good. I heard you saying that you were joking around with your coworker or whatever, and then thank God you guys had the relationship that was strong enough to where she was able to come to you and be like, "Yeah, that wasn't so funny." 'Cause
mhm,
I'm the same way, and, what I had to realize was, if this joke is at the expense of somebody else's embarrassment,
mhm.
shut up.
Just
You
shut
know what
up.
I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
shut up. Just be quiet, because like you said, the impact and the intent, it's like a confusion there, and so people wanna use that as a scapegoat. "Well, that wasn't my intentions," but you can't take away the impact that it had on somebody just because it wasn't your intention to hurt them. That doesn't mean that the impact was bare minimum. It could have had a detrimental impact even though it wasn't intentional. So acknowledge.
Mhm,
Acknowledge is the key word.
mhm,
Acknowledge the fact that what you did or what you said was impactful to somebody else, and accept accountability. Another key
mhm.
word. Accept accountability for the impact that you had on somebody else.
Because, we do not know what somebody else has went through in the past to make them feel like when you're joking with them, it hurts because if they did not tell you if they was picked on in the past and somebody used to do this all the time and it brings them back to that space, well,
Mhm.
baby, that's not the space I wanted you to go to. I'm just a jokey person. But in that aspect, since I hurt your feelings, I do apologize for that because that wasn't my intention. So I take full accountability and realize that I have to change how I joke with certain people because at one point in time, I was very sensitive
Mhm.
about how people would talk to me. I could dish it out, but I couldn't take it. So
Mhm.
I had to stop being so sensitive and realize when people are saying stuff and I took it the wrong way.
Mhm.
At one point, I didn't like constructive criticism, right? Because that means I had to look back on what I was doing incorrectly, and I had to take the truth and be like, "Well, I knew I was doing this right. Nah, homie, this is not actually the right way." So getting that constructive criticism, you get defensive, you shut down, you close off, and you get an attitude. So I had to, ooh, rewind, take accountability and see the wrongs that I've done and change that when it came to constructive criticism.
I don't like the word constructive criticism. Criticism is criticism. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's somebody pointing out something that is incorrect or that could use some improvement. And sometimes it's just the embarrassment of, I feel like I already be knowing. But when somebody else pointed out, ooh, how dare you point that out about me? I thought I was hiding that. I thought I was masking that. So when somebody actually pointed out, it's like, ooh, now I got to do something about it.
You see, for me, if I can call it out on my own before you can call it out, baby, you can say it, but I already called it out anyway. So it ain't gonna hurt my feelings because I recognize, well, I could do this better and I can do this better. So before somebody can try to say, well, you did this wrong, you did that. No, homie, I already analyzed myself and I said, ooh, and I'm telling you that, hey, I can work on this and I can work on that. I know my attitude is stank. And that's just in general. I know my attitude
Hmm.
could be stank. I didn't need your facial expression. Your nonverbal said a lot.
I'm laughing because my mama think I am just the meanest person. And some days
Mhm. Can.
can do. It's
It is.
She be so nervous to call me about some stuff. She be like, Bonnie, can no.
But geez, can I say it before you say
Right.
no?
Can't even get it out. Okay. All right.
Oh my God. That's why you mean. That's why we get along so well. We freaking frat, girl.
Oh my God.
Ah, that's funny. That's
Let's
funny.
get into these unfair expectations though.
Oh, baby, let's talk about expectations. Why do we expect people who hurt us to also be the ones who heal us? Let's talk about that.
Wait. The people that what? To do what?
Why do we expect people who hurt us to also be the ones who heal us?
Ooh.
Can we talk about that?
That is a setup. Come on now. It keeps us emotionally attached to someone who already showed us their limitations. They showed you who they was. Believe them the first time. They hurt you. You want this
Mhm,
person that hurt you to come and heal your wounds?
mhm.
Only for what Tiffany Pollard say on New York say on the flavor love. You gonna open up the same wound, Flay? The same wound? You set
Same
yourself up for that.
wound
You gone on the show 2 times. He
twice
didn't choose you the first time. So
and
you
did
go back
not.
a second time and he didn't choose you again?
With the
Now you
same stink
hurt.
attitude. With the same stink attitude.
Now you
Queen
hurt.
of reality. Queen of
He
reality
showed
TV.
you who he Flavor Flav. He showed you who he was the first time. But we want them to heal us. You hurt me,
Mhm,
but come and be my savior. What
mhm,
part of the game is that? That's
mhm.
delusional.
Where's my card at? I need to have a delusional card.
Delusional, man. All right. So, not getting this apology, it can turn into self blame. Maybe I was
Mm,
too sensitive. Maybe
mm,
I said the wrong thing. Maybe it was me. Maybe it really wasn't their fault. No, you're not. What did I just say? Delusional? Yeah, you might be delusional in that situation, but
mhm,
expecting for somebody to apologize for hurting you, there's nothing delusional about that.
mm,
Especially somebody that you cared for, somebody that allegedly cared for you. There's nothing
mhm,
wrong with asking for an apology. You don't have to
mhm.
blame yourself.
Exactly. Or if I explain it better, they'll finally get it. Meanwhile, you're over explaining your pain to someone committed to misunderstanding you. Why are you over explaining? Why are you
Committed.
over? You are over explaining yourself, over explaining to somebody that's yet again committed to misunderstand who you and your feelings are.
And now you mad and you frustrated. Well, why they just don't get it? Why are you expecting them to get it? They don't want to. They
They don't.
already made up in their mind what they're thinking. And you got in your mind what you're trying to convey. They not trying to hear it. They're listening for a response. They're not listening to understand you. They committed to misunderstanding you. So you wasting your time, you wasting your breath, you wasting your energy. So
Girl,
if I keep saying it, let me say it slower. Let me say it in sign language. Do you understand what the word? Like, do I gotta keep repeating myself? Do I gotta say it in different languages for you to comprehend what, what I'm trying to say?
you know who you trying to explain yourself to? It sounds like a narcissist,
Mm,
somebody that never takes blame or accountability for something that they have done to you.
mm-hmm.
They feel like they are always in the right and you're the one that's tripping. You're the one that's too sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Don't gaslight me. That's one thing you can do to get on my nerve is gaslight me. And then you try to play in my face. Let me walk out before I hurt you.
Give an
Because
example of gaslighting for me because a lot of people don't really understand the full meaning of what it looks like to be gaslit. Can you give an example?
yes, baby. For instance, I'm telling you that you hurt my feelings. You're too sensitive. That's not what it means. I didn't do it like that. You're the one that's tripping. You're the one that's tripping. I seen a video, baby, and it keyed me. It gave me a whole key.
Mm-hmm.
They read this one. They said, my ex used to gaslight me so much. If they was on fire, all I would tell them is, "What are you doing? You're not on fire. You're not on fire. You tripping. You gonna tell me I'm not on fire when the fire is on me?"
Right, right. Like
That
I can feel the heat. I can see see the flames.
No, you're not on fire, you tripping. That's just the sun burning you.
Mhm.
Like, people don't understand when you do that, try to play somebody in their face, that can be a very dangerous game for a lot of people.
Mhm.
I don't know if y'all know what that show
I
called
know what
Snap.
Snap is. I could have been on there a couple of episodes, okay?
You know, I think
I know
me and you
exactly.
both.
I know what Snap is. I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to let go of her. She is suppressed. I'm trying to keep her suppressed. All right?
Yes,
She don't need to
we don't
come
need the
out.
old one. We don't need the old girl. No. Darnesha,
Not
no.
no. That's Bonnie. Bonnie from Saginaw. That's who that one is.
Oh,
I be
don't
trying to
get
keep
behind
Bonnie
me.
a little hidden a little bit.
Yeah.
All
My
right, y'all. Go ahead, my bad.
I was gonna say my cousin, when I get snappy or anything, she said, "Oh, Christopher's out right now." When you hear my
Not
New York
Krista.
ass
Christopher.
Christopher, baby, when my New York accent come out real heavy, Christopher's out, and I try to
Not
keep him under
Christopher Robin.
I try to keep him under wraps, you know? You can thank my mother for that middle name, Christopher. But
I like it. Christopher.
yes,
All
but
right, y'all.
let's get into letting go without closure, y'all.
How do we do that?
Closure doesn't always come from a conversation. Sometimes closure is you deciding, I believe myself.
I believe myself. That goes into not allowing somebody to gaslight you into thinking that what you were feeling wasn't accurate or what you were thinking was not accurate. You just have to decide, oh, okay, I believe myself. It's okay. So acceptance does not mean approval. It
Mm-mm,
does not mean that you have to like it. But acceptance literally means it is what it is. And
mhm.
I have to move forward. And then
Eh,
if go ahead.
no, go ahead, finish.
I'm saying if you're in a situation and you really got this on your mind heavy and you really just going back and forth about it, maybe that friendship or maybe that relationship or maybe that job wasn't even worth it, wasn't worth the energy or wasn't worth the time and the effort if you can't even get the validating statements or you can't get the accountability. Let that go. So when we're talking about closure not coming from a conversation, that goes into like your next situationship, your next friendship. You got to have some stronger boundaries there. Let that stuff be known up front.
Mhm. Yes.
I talk about my issues.
Mhm.
If I have an issue, I'm not going to suppress it. If you upset me, I'm an adult enough to say, you know what you said? That made me feel a little bit disrespected. Or that hurt my feelings a little bit. Or I
Yeah.
didn't like when this happened. And how you respond will tell me everything I need to know about that relationship, everything I need to know about that friendship. It will let me know if I'm in a psychological safe space. And if I'm not, I'm out of there.
Mhm.
Because
Yep.
I'm not going to have friendships and relationships where I got to tippy toe, where I have to walk on eggshells, where I can't be vulnerable, or when I can't be myself, when I can't be authentic. So
Mhm.
set those boundaries in the beginning. This
Yeah.
is what you can expect from me, and this is what I expect in return. That's the key part. This is what I expect in return from a relationship. This is what I expect in return from a friendship.
Yes, because having no expectations as far as setting those boundaries and what you will take and what you will not take. Like
Mhm.
what I heard you say was that I'm going to tell you how I feel, and your response is going to warrant how I'm going to handle you in the future if I want to continue this friendship or partnership or not.
Mhm.
Because I learned from my past that I need to start setting boundaries for my future. And then
Mm.
if you did not respect my boundaries in the past, baby, I'm not gonna have that going into the future. If somebody is not gonna respect my boundaries, oh, you know what? It was nice talking to you. I don't think this is gonna work. It's not me, it's you.
What you say? Talk that ish. You said I learned from my past. How I'm gonna do what?
Learn and how I'm gonna handle in my future. Okay?
Past, future.
Future.
Past,
Past, future.
future. Come on now.
Okay? Because I learned from not setting boundaries. I learned from respecting myself and my emotions that I deserve to be heard and to be validated. Because if I'm going to hear you when you tell me that I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry, right? So if you're not going to do the exact same thing for me, then baby, this seems like it's one-sided. Now I'm not about to be on this one side on this one-way street. No, baby, it's a two-way lane. You go listen, because I respect you enough to hear you and validate you. I want the same in response. If you're not
Mhm.
gonna do that, then baby, we don't need to be together. We don't need to be
Mhm.
friends. We don't need to be associates. Baby, you can lose my number right here and now.
Now, don't get it twisted. Being in the field that we're in, we know everybody is not going to respond in the same manner as us. I can be on the phone with somebody and the conversations are constantly just being talked over, like cutting each other off and stuff like that. I think Daquan and I, we kind of had the dynamic where we hear one another out or whatever. We don't talk over each other as frequently. I don't have these expectations with certain friends. We just have different communication styles. So it's you got to have some realistic expectations that are fair, right? However, to Daquan's point, yeah, I expect the same respect that I give you. If I'm going to hear you out, I want you to hear me out too. Your hearing me out might not look like the way that I hear you. Like you might have my undivided attention and I might not cut you off or whatever, but I still want some validation. I still want you to be like, Darnesha, I understand where you're coming from. I get that.
Mhm, mhm, and
You
that's
don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me, but hear me.
and that's all that we want to hear is that you listened to what I said and heard me to understand, "Okay, I hear what you're saying." And again, I don't have to agree with you, but I do hear what you're saying. You know,
Mhm.
people fail to realize that because again, they just want you to hear how they feel. Some people don't necessarily care about how you feel, but as long as you hear what they said, they good. They easy
Mhm.
peasy. But I can't have a one-sided friendship or a partnership or whatever it is. It can't be one-sided because it has to be fair for each other. If you respect each other or care for each other, just listen, hear them out. And again, y'all don't have to, you can agree to disagree.
Mhm.
That's what
Agree to
people fair
disagree.
that's what people fail to realize is that we can agree to disagree. We don't have to always agree on everything. Me and Darnisha may not agree on everything, but
Mm.
if we can come to a point where we can agree to disagree and we hear each other, we can move past it. We can get
Mhm.
on. We can get over that hump. But it has to be a mutual respect.
Right. All right, y'all. So again, we gave y'all some vital information that you can take with you on your day to day. We talked about what it feels like to not receive closure, how you can feel stuck in denial, how you can start self blaming yourself for not getting that closure or not getting that apology that you've been waiting for.
Mm.
We've talked about how you sometimes have to force closure, even when you don't want to, even when you're still waiting and waiting and waiting. And sometimes you just got to just close that chapter and be like, it is what it is.
It is. Yes. We also talked about unfair expectation and how that can be. You got to set real expectation goals for yourself. We also talked about what we tell ourselves. You don't have to over explain yourself. You don't have to, let's just say, you don't have to over explain yourself. Let's just say that. Because if somebody is not going to understand you, they're not trying to commit to understand. They're just committed to misunderstand you. All
Mhm.
right. And we also talked about letting go without closure because sometimes you're not always going to get that closure and you're going to have to be okay with that because some people are just not capable of just giving that to you and that's okay.
Mhm. That is okay. All right. So y'all already know what time it is.
It's time for the Q&A. 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 It's time for the Q&A.
All right, all right, all right. Daquan, what is our Q&A question of the day?
This comes from Whitney from Indianapolis. Hey, Whit, how you doing,
Hey, Wit.
bro?
We call
Hey,
her Wit too. Hey, Wit, Coach Wit. Hey, Coach
Whit.
Wit.
You know, I'm good for a nickname. So, Whit wants to know How do you deal with your mental health when you're in a mental health field? Girl,
Shaking the table,
she done shook the table,
shaking the
girl.
table.
Girl. Ooh, listen, and I ain't talking
Therapy.
about Beyonce, okay? Listen, it is for me, it's not the easiest thing because I work in a field, I work in the psychiatric I work for one of our, organizations, in the mental health field, one of the biggest in Texas, and I still don't understand how we don't get a mental health day, but that's neither here nor there. But what I do to help with my mental health, I go to therapy. I do some self-care. I go to the gym. I hit the gym. I've been hitting the gym every day almost. I have like 2 rest days out the week. I try to go out, like even this week, I went out, just for a little happy hour. And it was good. It was very cheap and inexpensive, girl. Spent $30 and I was happy. It's something that it takes your mind off of work and being in this field when you constantly have to be bombarded. Because
Mhm.
I had a client last week and I was so in it, it was the counter-transference happening. Like, I took on that individual's pain and, that feeling, and it was when I say it weighed heavy on me, it really did, and I told my supervisor, I was like, "Hey, like, I maybe I shouldn't have did, X, Y, and Z because that really weighed on me." She said, "Listen, you have to learn how to let that go. Don't take that home with you. Let it
Mhm.
go right here. It was intense, but let it go right here. But you can't take that home with you." And that is so true because day to day, we hear different things, and it's heavy. It can be very, very heavy. And sometimes, like I'm an empath, I can take on people's feelings and I'm not even trying to, but it's just the person in me. But I'm so in tune in what I do that I have to learn how to woosah, and I have to
Mhm.
take care of my mental health. And I have to even talk about it. Like supervision was one way for me to get that off of me because I had to talk about it to get
Mhm.
it off. Run it to my car so I can go home because I get with my people. My peoples that I can joke around, play with, and do all those things to get my mind off of work. What about you?
I think you answered that question very eloquently. So, whatever you like, whatever kind of food you like, I am just going to ditto what you said. I heard you say being in therapy. I heard you say going to supervision. I heard you say hanging out with your friends. I heard you say going to the gym. I heard you say basically, you got to be aware. Like, then when you're empathetic, it's natural to take on the emotions of somebody can tell you a story and you feel like it's happening to you. I
Mhm,
remember being in between sessions, finding out that one of my students had passed away. The first
oh,
time I had ever lost a client.
mhm,
That was very detrimental. And I had to stand there stoic and go through a whole therapy session after the fact with someone else. But after that, you don't think I screamed to the top
mhm,
of my lungs? I cried. You just gotta allow yourself time to be human. Cause you are human. It has been sessions where I'm literally fighting tears because I'm hearing the trauma. So, but like Daquan said, you gotta learn to leave that at work. You can't take that home with you. Or
mhm.
you won't have a home life. You have to have a work life balance. So hopefully that was helpful for you, Coach Witt. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. That really was a good one. I love that, and it was right on time. Right on time.
Mhm. All right, so we're going to get into our affirmation and action of the day. Do you
All
have
right.
an affirmation and action of the day?
Today's affirmation is I do not need an apology to validate my experience.
Ooh. Ooh, in the words of Young A, ooh, I do not need an apology to validate my experience. Ooh, they call it heckling.
They got a
You
Stephanie.
call her
I got a
Stephanie.
Annie.
I call
I
her
got a
Stephanie.
Ebony. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, you a fool. You are a fool. And today's action for today is write the apology you never received.
Oh, dang. Come on with the apology. Come on with the letter writing.
You
Aaliyah,
know?
4-page letter.
Oh, look. I'm writing him a
Turn the music up
4-page
a little bit
letter.
more. A
Hey,
little bit more.
hey, now you're gonna
We
make me go
on 2
listen to
different
that.
parts of the song. I'm still at the beginning. I'm still
I
trying to get the
see.
producer to turn the
You see,
music up.
just
You
a
on
little
the
bit more,
chorus. A
a
little
little
bit
bit
more.
more.
Get down. Write the
Yes,
apology letter you never
yeah.
received. That's what's up.
Yo, and also say everything you wish they had said. In that apology letter, say
That's good.
everything that you wish that person would have said to you.
Do that. I'm gonna do that. I got a couple of apology letters I need to write. I actually need to write some myself to
Mm,
other people. You know what I'm saying?
yes. Are you gonna send them?
Well, no. Okay.
Well,
So hold on, because it's the reason. I literally can't.
mhm. No, that's
The
fine. Then burn it.
not yeah, I can burn it, but those individuals are no longer here. So
Yes, yes.
yeah.
If they're no longer here, then you can release it.
Release. 1, 2, 3. Release it.
And then they'll get it. They got it.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. I
Yeah,
think I'm
that's
gonna do
good.
that too. I think I'm gonna do that too. Trying to think who I need to apologize to.
Yep, that's good. All right, y'all. Well,
Mm.
here we go again, season 2.
Season
We thank
2,
y'all for
y'all.
rocking with us for another episode. This is so much fun for us.
It
We
is.
hope y'all got something from it today. We hope we made y'all laugh, made y'all get in y'all feelings a little bit, and we hope
You
we
know?
made y'all think.
Yes. That's the important thing. That noggin.
Things to make you go,
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So how about take some accountability? You
Oh,
might need to hold yourself accountable for some things.
yes.
Let go of those apologies that was never received. Apologize to yourself for hurting yourself because sometimes we hurt ourselves.
Yes. That's the important thing. Say that again.
Apologize to yourself
Ooh,
because sometimes we hurt ourselves. We cause our own pain and
yes.
discomfort.
And
So, yeah.
I'm sorry, and we are the hardest person to forgive. We
Mhm.
we forgive everybody else, but we don't take time to forgive ourselves. And a lot of people tend to struggle with that. But you have to forgive yourself. If you want to get better, babe, you can't just apologize to that person that hurt you. You got to apologize for yourself for being in that space because we do sit there. I know I did with take blame on, "Oh my god, I put myself in that situation. If I wouldn't have did this, I wouldn't have did." Be easy on yourself. I
Mhm.
had to
Grace.
tell a yes, you have to give yourself grace. I had to tell a client that. Give yourself some grace. You have to, because if you can forgive that you can Tom, Dick, and Harry, why not forgive yourself?
Mhm. All right. We love y'all.
I just wanna also do a shout out to my homegirl Just Treats for this nice cookies and cream cookie. Baby,
Show it
delish.
again. Just Treats. Where's
Just
she based
Treats.
out of?
Houston, Texas,
Based out
girl.
of Houston, H-Town. Just Treats.
H-Town
Is
down,
that her
and
Instagram handle?
it is, and it's I will put it up, and baby, it's banging. I had some last night at the Super Bowl party.
Mhm.
Ate 'em up, ate 'em up.
It reminds me, let me see it again. That looks so good. Oh my God. That looks so good.
I have
Ooh,
to send you
child.
some, girl. I'll send you some.
I'm trying to be so good. I'm trying to be so
You
good.
can
But
have
yeah,
one.
send me some. I'm gonna text you my address. You know what I'm saying? All right, we out of here. Peace.
And that's a wrap for this round of Trigger Happy Hour, where we take shots of the truth with no chaser. Just raw conversations where the shots are sharp and it takes a sharper, and nothing gets off the table. If you like what you heard, hit that follow button, leave a review, and tell someone who can handle the heat. Pull up a bar stool next week for more real talk. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Until then, stay bold, stay loud, and don't water it down. Cheers.